Hey there, Martin Newmark at houseknowhow.com. Today I want to share with you the anatomy of an electrical outlet. Now, you might think, oh, there's not much to an electrical outlet, but there is a lot of features of this thing, and you're going to be surprised by the end of this video of how much there is to these little gadgets. For now, I want to ask you to subscribe to my channel, which is down below on the page, a little red box that says subscribe. Please click that. Let's get rolling. Here is a standard electrical outlet. You're probably very familiar with this front face. When we see it on a wall, it's like this, and you know we plug things into this. Okay, the screw to hold on the case goes into this hole right here. Our plugs will plug into the front face like this. The two slots, one slot is bigger than the other, and one prong is bigger than the other on all modern devices, except maybe transformer-like things. You'll have the same size blades. Okay, and what that does is it enforces polarity. If you'd like to learn more about polarity, you can watch my video about reverse polarity here on YouTube. Okay, this other slot is for grounding devices, or passing grounding from the electrical wiring in the home into a device like a computer, and that gets plugged in there. Okay, now how does electricity get to these slots? Well, on the side of outlets there are two lugs or screws under which we clamp wires. On the left side of the outlet there are silver or zinc colored screws, and that's where we put the neutral wires, okay, the white insulated wires. Okay, on the left side are some brass colored lugs, and that's where we attach black wires, or the hot wires. Sometimes you'll see red wires connected as well, because red and black can both be hot. Okay, in some years of homes, your hot wires aren't black, but they're like a brownish color, and sometimes not that dark a brown, and they can be easily confused. It's pretty unusual, but you might have a home like that. The green lug over here is where you hook your bare copper wire or green insulated wire, which is for grounding the outlet. That grounding lug connects to the grounding holes and also to that center hole as well. On the back of an outlet there are 4 holes, small holes like this one, that correspond to the screws on the sides of the outlets. Okay, these holes are where you can backstab wires. This is a 14 gauge wire and will go into this hole. This is a 12 gauge wire and it won't go in that hole. These screws, they're in little slots, and those allow you to attach the outlet to an electrical box. Okay, there's a screw at the top, a screw at the bottom, and those holes line up and will hold the outlet into the box. Another feature is these tabs that connect these the 2 brass screws on the right and the 2 silver or zinc screws on the left. Okay, those tabs are so that they can actually be broken out. Say you want this outlet to be, or this receptacle to be on all the time, and you want this receptacle to be switched. What you do is you provide 2 hot wires, one hot wire that's hot all the time and one hot wire that's switched. And then you break this tab in between, and then these outlets are independently powered. In this case, you can still use the same neutral wire. There are some cases where you might need to break the tab on the neutral side too. There are 4 more slots on the back of the outlet. Here's one, and then there are 2 down below as well. These are where you can push a device in, a small device in, to release the wire from the backstab port in the back of the outlet if you ever need to change it. Another good question is, why are there 2? We saw that, or 4 screws to hold wires. We saw one example of one being switched and one not. One that's probably much more common is this wiring configuration where power comes in from this set of wires into the outlet. It powers both receptacles, and then this wire, this cable that comes out and goes on, it actually powers a outlets or other electrical devices downstream. And then here you can see I've got the ground wires connected from both cables and to the outlet itself. The back of these outlets actually has a lot of good information. So that's all the features on the outside of an outlet. What about on the inside of an outlet? Let's take this thing apart. All right, so I'm going to take this outlet, put it in here at an angle, so I push on the corners to try and break it apart. If I smash it this way, I just don't think I'm going to get anywhere with it. Or if I smash it this way, I want to break it that way, corner to corner. And I'm applying pretty much force. You would not want your finger in this vise with this much force. I mean, I am cranking on this thing. You can hear it start to crack. The face of the outlet is actually embedded into the wood piece pretty substantially. Let's see what's happened here. A little bit of cracking. Yeah. Now we'll go the other direction and see what happens. Pardon my shaky hands. It's a gift from my grandma. She couldn't keep food on a fork. Alright, so let's crank some more. It's really shocking to me that this thing takes so much force to destroy. Yeah, this face is finally coming loose. Alright. So now I've broken this outlet apart, and on the inside I see lots of little parts. In fact, there are 24 parts in this entire outlet, and there are 14 unique parts, but 24 in total. And you can see the bars in here where the prongs for the outlets go. This is where the metal, where the wires get clamped by the screw head. Back here, this is a little slot where the backstabbing wire can go in, so it can get pushed in there. Some very intricately designed parts inside this little guy. Where the ground connects, it goes to a bar, and it connects the grounding holes to the ground wire. It connects that center post, the screw that holds the cover plate on, to ground. So a lot of lot of really beautiful engineering and design work that goes into these little babies. Now, one other feature on the back is the, and we didn't talk about this yet on the front, these outlets are called tamper resistant. And what that means is when you put a prong in just one side, it actually won't go in, okay? And this one won't go in on that side. But when you have them lined up, and one going in each hole, then there's a shutter back there that will actually move to the side and let the prongs go in, okay? Here's what that device is in the back of the outlet. It's put together like that, and I pull this out, and it's 3 parts. There's a metal spring and a shutter here that opens and closes and is designed to prevent anything going into one slot only. That's to make them tamper resistant. How much do you guys think this costs? This outlet. How much do you think one of these outlet costs? They're about $1. $1.19 if you buy one, about $1 a piece if you buy 10. That's an amazing amount of technology for $1. You might assume that these outlets are made in China, wouldn't you? I sure did. And then I looked on the thing, because everything seems to be marked where it's made. Made in the USA. Hallelujah! Very glad to see that. Well, that's it for the anatomy of an electrical outlet. I hope you enjoyed it and learned something. If you have any questions, feel free to put them down in the comments below. If you like this video, click the thumbs up button. Please subscribe to my channel, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Be well.